We're getting close now. Okay. One more last session. Now remember, I'm going to go through the master's presentation now, and then I'm going to finish answering the questions that we've accumulated today so they don't gang up on us tomorrow. All right, so if you are a master's, you might want to take a nap for a few minutes, and if you're not, you want to pay attention so you can see what your next level is. Hey, John, you want to put me up here? All right. We call it the Financial Freedom Academy because that's really what it is. And Donald Trump will tell you why we can't call it the Financial Freedom University because he got whacked on that one. And our goal is to help you get a master's degree in real estate investing. And I can tell you it's as good as any degree that ever created by any college and probably more profitable than any of them. There's three key ingredients. Number one is your basic training. Okay, Quick Start School is part of that, but it goes way beyond that. The personal mentoring that we've discussed is a big part of it, but then there's the ongoing training and the continuing education that's become part of the master's, and the implementation part of it is extremely important. So we can get you a master's degree, but here's what comes with it. Number one, you get the Business Management Boot Camp, which is all about running the business of real estate with all these things that I've got on the board here for you. Now, I gave that to you guys if you bought mentoring, but if you didn't buy mentoring, you will get the Business Management with the Masters, which comes with the mentoring. Also required to graduate is our Implementation Power Days, which is all electronic now. It's all about getting your system set up, working dreams, what's in dreams, how to handle dreams, how to work with your VA on dreams, and your other systems. That's going to be required to get a master's degree because it's pretty important that you get this information internalized so that it'll help you get out of your own way going forward. 6 months of mentoring is required, and at least half of you on here right now are already in the mentoring program, which means you got already half of your master's program paid for or more because mentoring is part of master's. And I don't need to go through what mentors do for you. I've been all through that, but honestly, they're probably the difference between success and failure, easily. You're also going to get a free return to all of our events for life. That's virtual or live. And you may bring a guest to those events, the live ones, and they can come back free as long as they're with you. And you're going to get your personal representative. Right now, her name is Dolores, and she works directly with our masters. She's the only one you need to communicate. She takes care of all your needs if they're in this building. When we do live events, you get special seating. We create places for masters to sit. Of course, you're not required to sit there, but we take care of you. The minute you become a master, the minute you sign up, you're entitled to a 10% discount on anything that we offer other than Gold Club services thereafter. And we got some easy financing for you as well. So you're going to get all these goodies when you sign up for Masters. First, we waive your setup fee. If you're in the mentoring, we've already done that. But again, I'm going to give you credit for your mentoring anyway. So either way, you get it waived. And our whole objective is to help you get where you want to go as fast as you want to go. And then if you want to be put into a league like the folks you're seeing, so be it. But when you enter the Masters, you're entering Planet Ron and for a lifetime relationship. And you're going to be able to hang around the right kind of people that have showed you here as well. Your guests that you can bring include your parent, child, spouse, significant other, or someone in your business. And you can interchange these guests as long as they're in this group. You can't just go out on the street and grab somebody and say, hey, come with me, you're free. No, it's got to be in this group. Got to be somebody in this group or somebody in your business, but people sometimes bring different people in their business. You can bring more than one. There's a $500 fee if you want to bring more than one to any live event. Now, of course, I have no control over how many people you put in front of the screen while you're watching the virtual event. Now, this is not required to be a master, but I'm going to give it to you, and that's my Commercial Property Boot Camp. Started an awful lot of careers, just did one 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got partners all over the country on these commercial projects after they went to this boot camp. And this is the training about how to get into the world of commercial without having a big financial statement, without having credit and all that stuff that you think. I cover all kinds of commercial property, from vacant land all the way up to buildings of all sort, income producing, non-income producing. You learn the language that's inside the commercial world, how to estimate the value of a property before you ever even make an offer on it, after you fixed whatever is broke, where to get the money to do it, how to structure these things so that you can fund them, like you saw Ann Brandel on here earlier, and then what to do with them to drastically change the value so that you can get big bucks. This is where the really big bucks are in commercial. But I don't want you to think that you're going to go from residential to commercial. We're going to be doing both. I do both. So we're going to create a residential empire by getting up and running and systemized, and then when you're ready, you come to commercial. And then if you want to work with me and get into my mastermind group, you can as well. It's a very important event for you to, I don't know when our next one's scheduled, but we're going to be publishing that schedule here pretty soon. And then there's a rehabbing and retailing boot camp that Jay Connor puts on. Very extremely qualified, 400 rehabs, does an excellent job, and he's going to teach you how to not only rehab, what it costs, what to do. He's going to have his contractors there. He's going to have his decorators there and his team there, and he's going to take you into Lowe's. And more importantly, he's going to teach you how to handle contractors, because I promise you, you handle them or they're going to handle you. And they are easily the difference between whether you have a success rehabbing a house or not. It comes down to contractors and your knowledge of what stuff costs more than anything else. That is going to happen twice next year. Again, it'll be published soon. And we're going to try to get the first one to be live. But hey, if we have to do it virtual, we will. But don't worry. As soon as we can get back out there live, we're going live. And you guys will be able to come to these things live. And trust me, you get a lot more out of the live ones than you do the virtual ones. Way more fun, way more people you meet, way more hands-on involvement. Okay, we can take you into Lowe's on the bus, but it's nowhere near as good as live. I mean, we can take you in by camera. We're not taking the bus into Lowe's. Okay. So all of them are delivered digitally. So you're going to get both. And, we know a lot of people can't come to a live event, so we're happy to produce all of these things for you virtually. But I'm going to strongly encourage you to get to the live events as soon as we can open them back up again. Attend in any order you want. Doesn't make any difference what your order is. But I want you to attend as fast as you possibly can, and for whatever else you're still missing, so we can get you the master's degree. Now, here's a cool one. When you're paid in full, all you got to do is tell us, and we will send mentors to you to spend 2 days with you. Right now, that's Brian and Lynette Wolf. As you can see, they know what they're doing. So here's what's going to happen. When you're paid in full, you tell us, and we arrange a trip to your city. They're going to fly up there. You're going to pay their coach fare. You're going to pay their hotel, and you're going to pay their food. And they're going to pave the way before they come. They're going to set a lot of appointments for them to go out during that 2 days and go into houses and get as many contracts as they can. Now, the last time they did this, they got 10 contracts while they were there. 10, you can imagine the chaos that created for that couple. 10 contracts. And the one before that, they got 11. So this is the real deal, folks. When you're ready for them to come, now that means you got to generate some leads, but they're going to call them and make sure that they're worth visiting the next 2 days to make sure they got a good use of their time and they're not just wasting this trip for you. This is a $15,000 item purchased on its own. It is free with Masters. There is like zero chance that this trip won't pay for all the money you could spend on education multiple times over, because they're not going to come until we get these appointments set up and they pre-screen these sellers. So better keep this in the back of your mind. If you want a free education, this is one way to get it right here, and then some. The last trip they made, they created about, I forgot how much it was, about $750,000 in cash and equity potential, and gosh knows how much on the back end. I don't even remember, but it was huge. All right, what's it cost? Well, it cost about $30,000 if you have no credits, which most of you do, or 33 financed. And and I'll show you in a second, you've got a lot of things that you can take off of that, but that is the price. Again, here's what it includes: all these real estate events, and the mentoring program, and the commercial property boot camp, and the rehabbing boot camp, and account fee, the VA fee waived, and the credit for the Wolf's course. If you have the Wolf's What to Say, you'll get $2,000 credit for it. If you don't have it, we'll get it to you at no additional cost. And then, of course, when you're paid in full, the mentors will come to you to, you know, create havoc in your life. Okay. All right, I already went over all of these. You'll get a degree and a cap and gown graduation the first chance we get to become live, but you're eligible for the master's benefits the day you register for master's. And if you pay by check or wire, I'm going to give you another $500 discount off. And if you pay in full, and you can do that with a variety of things: credit cards, our Vive program, your checks, your wires, your credit cards or whatever, 10% off. And 10% off could be quite a chunk of money based on what your real bottom line is by the time we get through throwing all these credits on it. But that is a lot of money, I understand. You could buy a franchise for that, you know, like this one where you could chrome truck wheels. I mean, for a measly $35,000, you can get into that business. That sounds exciting. Or you can be a home painter for $40,000, buy into this franchise. But that don't even get you the equipment to work with or the tools. Here's another franchise. I kind of like this one. You've seen it. We buy houses out of Texas. I know these guys. I've visited there. They're good people. For $47,000, you can buy a franchise, learn how to buy ugly houses, and spend your whole life wholesaling or rehabbing if you want to. Honestly, if you come to my Quick Start school, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about that, and you'll save yourself $40,000. Plus, you won't have to give these folks $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month for a national advertising campaign. But as franchises go, that ain't a bad one. I'll tell you that, because it wouldn't take you long to get your money back at that franchise. But honestly, why not be your own franchise and not have to be under the rules of somebody else? I'm not going to franchise you, and you're not going to be sending me any part of your proceeds. So is it really a lot of money? I don't know. Just ask yourself, how many deals do you need to do to make the cost of masters insignificant? Ask any of these people that we put on here. Ask any of these students. Ask Andrea in Canada how many multiples. She got into the master's program in 2008, as she said. Ask her if it makes any difference to her what it cost. Ask all of our mentors. Every one of them have been through the master's program. That's how they got where they are today. So one good deal, that's all it'll take. And we're going to help you get that deal. We're going to do everything we can to help you get that deal and many more as fast as we possibly can. So honestly, that's cheap. You know, what kind of car are you going to buy for 30 grand? Well, you can buy a car, but I can tell you in today's market, you're not going to get much of a car. In fact, I bought my wife a Navigator last year, $92,000 for a Ford Navigator. And of course, this trip that we took was about the price of a master's program. This was a cruise we took to Europe with the Wolfs the year before last. So is it expensive? I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. It's tax deductible. That means that Uncle Sam is going to pay whatever tax bracket you're in. You're going to get to deduct the entire amount, and that means that Uncle Sam's going to pay whatever 25% of that amount that you don't send to the government. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal because you're in a business. You're getting trained for a business, all tax deductible, including any travel you do, and airfare and so forth. All right, again, 10% off if you can pay in full, an additional $500 if you pay by check or wire. Look, we got to give the merchant account company that money, might as well give it to you. And here you go. You got all kinds of credits most likely coming. Number one, if you're in the mentoring program, you already paid for half your masters. So you're at least halfway there. If you got the Wolf system, you're $2,000 more there. If you paid for the VA setup, you're $500 more there. Some of you paid for the business management boot camp. There's another $1,000. Some of you paid for the commercial property boot camp I did 2 or 3 weeks ago. There's another $1,000 you get to take off of that. So when you get on the telephone, you tell them to look up your record, and they'll know exactly what you paid that is part of the master's program or a bonus that I'm giving away with the master's program. You might have a very, very small balance on this thing. And you can use Gold Club on it, $1 a point, and you can apply that to the balance, thus reducing it even further. You can also use your IRA. So if you have money in an IRA or a 401k, ask them how to do it, because you got to do it right, and you can use that money to invest in your education for the rest of your life. Really good, about the best rate of return you can get. All right, can you purchase mentoring by itself? Of course you can. Of course you can. And some people do, and some people just purchase masters and get the mentoring. But if you want mentoring, as I said yesterday, it's $15,000 with 2 down. We finance it no interest for 12 months, or it's $13,500 fully paid. If you haven't done that yet, you might seriously consider that. And look, you can get into that program as little as $2,000 down, folks. And obviously your goal is to get that paid off out of your first deal. All my mentors were personally selected by me because of their servant's heart, because that they're doing business, and because I just felt like that they wanted to work with you and give back. But I won't let them take more than 15 clients, because I don't want to overburden them. I don't want to burn them out. So they all have a limit. In fact, I think a couple of them that you saw already are probably full, and you'd have to get on the waiting list if you want them. When you call in, they won't know when you call in, but Dolores will be back in touch with you shortly, and if you don't know who you want for a mentor, she will assign you one, and you got 30 days from that point to change if you don't like them. Okay, so there's your master's cost, financed, fully paid, mentor cost, finance, fully paid, use Gold Club. All right, but remember now, until you purchase the master's program, I can't send somebody to your city to spend 2 days getting you deals. Okay, that only comes with a master's program, not with the mentoring program. And again, don't confuse the Dan Pitts, the hotline, with your mentor. Your mentor goes way beyond what Dan Pitts does on the hotline, and he doesn't do any of these things on your screen right here. Your mentor works with you one-on-one. Your hotline is just there to answer some questions when you call them. So if you already got the mentoring, maybe it's time to upgrade, because it won't even cost you $15,000, because I know you have some of them credits coming, but whatever the difference is, you're getting $48,000 worth of goodies for whatever that upgrade price is. And it comes with all of that, and then some. Now, John, you and I just discussed, guys, we have a 2-day event that I taped called Structuring Your Empire. I taped it with an attorney, and we went over all the stuff that we were talking about today. I mean, literally 2 days of this stuff. And I had a land trust seminar built within it. And I recorded this because everybody keeps asking about this stuff, because it certainly warrants questions. And I put a certificate in it to send to me if you want. And that certificate just says, tell me what you own, and I'll tell you what I think you need to think about doing, and then you can take that to Bob if you want. So when you get this course, if you want to get that to me, then I'll respond to you. Take the time to concentrate on what you own. Now, I'm not going to ask any personal questions. I don't care what your Social Security number is, any of that. I just want to know, do you own a business? Do you own properties? How do you own them? Do you own automobiles? And so forth. That course retails for $14.95, and I'm going to throw it in here at no cost, because I'd like for you to have it if you get in the master's program today. And even better, if you recall, Bob Bloom just put this great big old package of asset protection, estate planning stuff in front of you, and it's $5,000 if you are not a master. It's free if you are, which tells me I'm not sure how it makes sense to pay him $5,000 when I can get it for free and apply that $5,000 to my master's program. Something you might want to consider. And I'm telling you, that's a short-lived program. He and I agreed to test this thing out till the end of November, and then we'll decide whether we want to continue it from there. So if you want that deal right now, and you want to save that $5,000, just get in the master's program today. We'll finance you. We got several ways to finance you.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
There was one other thing I didn't get a chance to ask you about during the break.
What?
It's up to you. We also have that seller financing that we just taped a month ago.
Geez, we did, didn't we? Okay. I taped a 3-day course called Buying and Selling with Owner Financing. It was a really incredible course, actually. I'm probably the only guy alive qualified to tape this thing because I truly understand that business and most people don't. It really came out really, really good, actually. If you guys want that course, John, you know they don't know that over to VIP Center, don't you? Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm going to send some text messages.
All right, so that's a $1,497 course. Yeah, it's yours free if you get in the master's program today, as well as the Structuring Your Empire course as well. I just gave you $3,000 more worth of free stuff, for crying out, plus $5,000 more that Bob Bloom is offering you. So if you cannot qualify for a Vive card, and you'll know that within a few minutes, or you can't qualify for enough, okay, we'll finance you. If we finance the entire full master's program for you because you're not in mentoring, it's $7,500 down. We'll finance the rest interest-free for 18 months. Okay? You can finance mentoring only with $2,000 down, interest-free, 12 months. However, if you're already in the mentoring program, you can upgrade from mentoring to masters for $4,000 down and get all these goodies. And frankly, if that's an issue, tell the guys, look, I don't want the dollars to stop you. Work out the dollars, okay? I don't want that to stop you from getting in. Because you're going to lose some incredible gifts here that I'm giving you as well. And many of you mentoring folks that are watching me right now, you know you can renew. You can do for another 6 months. You don't have to wait till your first 6 months is over either. You can renew for another 6 months for half price, which is $79.95, and I'm giving you $1,000 off here if you want to do it while you're here, and you can do it with as little as $2,000 down and work out the financing with them when you call. Man, I don't know how much easier I can make it for you. All right, yeah, here's one way. If you want to get masters free, it's very simple. Let's do a deal together. You partner with me on any deal, and that's residential now. I only do commercial deal with my commercial group boot camp, my commercial members. You partner with me on any deal, your entire cost of your masters comes off the top before we split anything. In other words, your masters would be free. And of course, same thing with mentoring, but since masters cost more, when you get into the program, I think I'd work to do a deal with me. I mean, I liked a couple of those we had a while ago. I like that $2.5 million deal we did, because I'm telling you, there's big six-figure profit in that thing. And you know, it's kind of like what I'd like you working on. Go into the higher price stuff. I don't want to do a $200,000 house with you. You know, let's do $1 million house where we can make some money. And then we can take the profits. You get the first 30 grand, and then we split whatever that is, 50-50 or 75-25 on the balance. So you get paid before I get paid. So that means it's free. All right, now to qualify, you got to be in the mentoring program to work with me, to do a deal with me. I will not do a deal with anybody that's not in the mentoring program, and that could be an extension, because you're not dealing with me direct. You're dealing with your mentor who brings the deal to me, and he is the liaison. I guarantee you I'll be on the phone with you very quickly if I decide to do this deal, and we'll have multiple conversations. All right, and I got to approve the deal, and that's my option, and I'm telling you I'm not going to approve all of them because some of them really, really suck. And if the deal sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks. Okay, because your feelings aren't exactly at the top of my priority list. My job is to help you make money, all right, not pat you on the back and tell you how good you are. I'm not very good at that, I'll tell you that right now, all right? So if it makes sense, I'll approve the deal. And if we need the money, don't worry, we'll get the money as long as the deal makes sense. And you've got to either be headed for Quick Start School or been through it, virtual or live, to even be in my mentoring program. I probably already know that. I told you that yesterday, because we will not mentor anybody that doesn't have the basic training. It'd be a waste of your money, and I'm not going to do that to you. You will not get anything out of mentoring if you don't have the training. Nobody can teach you this business on the telephone. Mentoring is to implement what you have learned and help you learn more along the way and keep you from making big mistakes and help you save deals you're going to lose. All right, when you weigh the benefits against the cost, I hope maybe the cost is not what keeps you from entering, because when you are in master's program, you're in our elite group. You're at the top of the line for us, because we don't have anything above that. No, it's the top of the line. And we'll get you a degree, and we'll graduate you cap and gown as soon as we can. So it only takes a few minutes for you to get a hold of one of our people, let them go over all this stuff with you, ask your questions, look up what you got, figure out how you want to finance it, and go from there and get you in. And we'd love to have you. So is it your time to ride to high places? You want to fly? You want to fly with us next year? In fact, even the rest of this year. So here's the big one. If you don't make this commitment now, what will change? What's going to happen next year that changes anything happened this year? How are you ever going to get to the point of some of these folks I'm bringing on here if you don't make a decision and get on with it? Every single person you saw has been trained. Even Frank, unfortunately, that wasn't my training, but all the rest of them were my training. And honestly, I know what I'm doing. I can do houses in my sleep. I don't even need to think about them. They don't stir up the molecular structure of my brain. So it's not a life-threatening decision, but it's certainly a life-changing one. And I can't tell you how many lives we changed. You haven't even scratched the surface of them. Look on here. So the value of your investment is in yourself. So are you ready to invest in yourself? If so, get on the phone and let's see what we can do to help you along that path. All right? Okay, John, I've told them everything that I think they need to know about masters. The rest is up to them. Now, let's knock out some questions, shall we?
Just to remind everybody, we had to switch to the new stream, so we lost all the questions that we had. So if you had questions from for Bob back a couple hours ago, repost whatever you didn't get answered. But we got a lot to start with here.
Okay.
When you buy on a land contract, are there closing costs?
Yes, and that's going to be state. First of all, you got an attorney's fee, but then some states charge a transfer tax on a land contract, and some states don't. And of course, you have a title search, so it's going to depend on the state.
Okay. Does a C corp also need 2 members, or is it just LLCs that need 2 or more members?
Nope, C Corp should have more than one member as well. Any single entity is dangerous.
What are the steps for changing the existing other business LLC to a different real estate business purpose of LLC?
It's very simple. You get a hold of Bob and he'll just create you a new operating agreement. Throw the old one away and this is yours. See, that's internal. That isn't registered with the state or anything.
Okay, Mary says, I was told that if you live in California and get a Wyoming or Alaska LLC to use for real estate deals, that I would still need to get a California LLC if the property is in California.
Well,
Is this
that's
true?
not true, Mary, but you may wind up paying California taxes, even though the LLC is not in California, because you're bringing the money into California. I'm guessing your governor is going to want his share of it, so he can go out to dinner more often. Just kidding. All right.
When I buy a house with seller financing and create a note or wrap, how do I take title into a land trust?
Well, the deed goes into the land trust, Linda, and then your attorney creates a wrap or land contract or whatever that the trustee signs back to the seller. So 2 totally different documents. The deed transfers title. The wrap is just a lien against the house.
Okay, Linda, again, if I have an existing seller finance note in an LLC and need to transfer to a land trust as owner, how do I do that?
You don't do that, Linda, because a land trust can only own land. And if you have it already in an LLC, don't worry about it. You're okay. Just leave it where it's at.
When Ron says the house is in a trust owned by an LLC, does he mean the LLC is the trustee?
No. The LLC is the beneficiary. Beneficiary.
Okay, and then the next part, he says, who should be the beneficiary for an unmarried Floridian?
Well, we went over that, and you probably should have a limited partnership with one of your LLCs as the general partner and you as the limited partner.
Okay, he also says, if a house is in a land trust with my attorney or friend as trustee, how does the plaintiff's attorney know I exist? How does he blow through my trustee?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure I'd want my attorney to be the trustee because that would be a pain in the neck. Plus, he wants to charge you money. And the attorney will not find out that you're the beneficiary without deposing you or without coming across something where he expects that you are. Make no mistake, if somebody's suing you, they're going to ask for all of these documents and they're going to ask all these questions. And if you don't answer them truthfully, then he just turned a civil case into a criminal case because that's perjury. So you're not going to hide this stuff. So if I say it again, answer the questions if you ever get attacked, but just make sure that even when they know the answers, they can't get the stuff because you learn how to protect it correctly. I mean, I can't say it again. You would be remiss if you're worried about this stuff not to get hold of Bob Bloom.
Okay, Alan has got kind of a technical question here I think I can answer. What security encryption do you have in place for when we hold, I guess, our customers' credit cards on file? So we use a CRM called Infusionsoft. It's a very large company, and they use the most up-to-date rules for credit card encryption. We can't even view your credit card number as employees.
Yeah, we don't know your credit card number. Therefore, technically, we don't hold them on file.
I know we get audited. I don't know if this is a concern for anybody else other than Alan. I know we get audited by our merchant accounts to make sure that we're up to date with all the compliance. So, another one from Alan. If we can go back to Barbara's deal when she was in here, who is paying rent through February?
The owner will make the monthly payment until 2 or 3 months after they move out. But it's not rent. They're just continuing making their own payment.
Robert just wanted to make a point. You can buy a Subway franchise for $25,000.
Boy, that sounds exciting.
Get a 60-hour-a-week job out of it.
Yeah, and for what? Say for what? And, that's really all a franchise is. You're buying a job. You just got to figure out what 12 hours you want to work every day. And by the way, I've never seen a Subway franchise you can buy for $25,000.
Yeah, I think
I don't know where his is. Yeah.
Ken asked, what is the link to the video ad that Ron shared yesterday? We put that up on ronlegrand.com/seller video.
Okay.
We put the slides up. You can download them, make your own video.
Yeah, there's a lot of free stuff up there, so don't lose that link.
A couple people are asking for Bob's phone number.
Nope.
He didn't give that out.
Nope.
He just gave out his website, so I'm not sure.
Nor would I if I was he.
Yeah, I'm not sure if his company has a number on the website. I didn't look.
Well, even then, he wants you to communicate with him by email, and then he'll get back with you. And frankly, if I was him and I had a law firm the size of his, you wouldn't get my phone number either. You can call it a law firm, or you can go with email, and it starts there. And then that relationship is begun. Bob is not going to have time to take calls from everybody who wants to ask him, what's an LLC? And I am sure you can understand that.
If I'm already a master, will Ron structure my empire?
No. Why would you want me to do it when you got Bob to do it? He's the one that's going to implement it for you. Besides, if I do it, I'd have to charge you, man. Bob's free. Get out there and let Bob do it. I'm not an attorney. Okay, I wouldn't create any of these documents. I wouldn't even dream of creating them. I still pay attorneys to do all this stuff for me.
Okay, we just had a couple more people. They want Bob's contact information, so I'm going to put that up on screen.
There it is.
Just make sure you're careful with the spelling. Asset, no S. It's not assets. AssetDefenseTeam.com.
Okay.
A couple people having problems with that.
And I would remind you now, if you're not a master, you won't get that big package he created for free, but you can still buy it for $5,000, which is dirt cheap.
Do the VAs text out as well as call?
No.
Okay, so he's saying that he finds most of his leads respond greater to a text, so he should just text back himself.
Correct. You text them, let them text you, and then you got immediate service and you don't have any time delays.
How do I transfer property from a Roth IRA to an LLC?
You don't. If your Roth IRA owns the property now on public record as the owner, then put it in a land trust and then make the LLC own the land trust that owns your Roth. I mean, that your Roth owns, I'm sorry. Your Roth owns the land, LLC owns the land trust. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can just have your Roth own the land trust. But get the Roth off of public record as the owner of the property.
Okay, Pedro says on the mentor deal that was going to auction, in a pre-foreclosure situation, what do you do to stop the clock when you have a new buyer or tenant?
Well, the one that I saw a while ago, it was going to sale today, so it's too late to stop that clock. But especially since he owed $93,000 to stop that clock. So if I'd have got in that deal a little earlier, you know, I might have been interested in bringing it current, but if I did, I'll guarantee you I'd take it for whatever's owed on it and then put up the 100 grand and then probably get it back when I put it on the market. But it has nothing to do with the tenant buyer. You got to stop the clock at the time you take title to it, because no attorney is going to let you take title without bringing that loan current. In this case, the seller did it. So it makes the deal a whole lot easier.
Okay, looks like we're about out of questions. We did screenshot some of the questions from earlier when we couldn't get with Bob.
Okay?
I could try to see if we haven't answered any of those.
So how are you guys doing? How's your brains doing, huh? You getting them full? How's the other end doing? I don't know about you, but mine's getting a little bit wore out.
Well, we went late last night, and I asked them, are you guys ready to quit? No one was ready to quit. They wanted to keep going.
Yeah, that's because they're sitting home in an easy chair with their legs propped up, sipping on a beer.
That's true.
We're here working. Okay, you see any more?
I've got a few more here.
Okay.
What entity should I have as a Canadian investing in the U.S.?
LLC, because they don't have land trust in Canada.
So he says, I heard I will be double taxed if I use an LLC.
Well, look, get some advice on somebody who knows what they're talking about. You're probably going to want an American LLC, and I'm just guessing here, and the American LLC will own the land trust, and then you can always get a bank account in America and leave them in America, and then I can't see how Canada is ever going to tax you. But, you know, it is true. I could see where you could get double taxed if you're not careful. By the way, you don't have IRAs in Canada. You got RSPs, which is the same thing. Now, the last time I heard, an RSP cannot buy real estate, but it can certainly buy a mortgage on real estate and then back in and foreclose and own the real estate. And it can make loans and all that kind of stuff. So your RSPs serve the same purpose as our Roth IRAs. If you don't know anything about them, look it up.
Does one LLC cover two businesses, or do they need
No.
separate?
No. If you're going to buy business, one LLC. If you're going to buy commercial property, income producing, one property, one LLC. Yeah, do not mix two businesses into one LLC. I'm getting a big delay here, John.
Yeah, no, it's a little messed up. Can any lawyer set up an LLC in any state?
Any lawyer can, but where are you going to find a lawyer as smart as Bob when his whole subject is LLCs? That's what he's an expert at. So then I'd have to ask, if that's true, why would you want to go find another lawyer? because you won't find any better, I can promise you that. And he's only charging you $495, and I don't know a lawyer's going to do one for you cheaper than that. But I guess we have to constantly keep looking, because when it's working, it has to be fixed, right? That must be a man asking that question.
Yeah, I think it was.
Thought so.
Doris asks, was there a drawing today?
God, there wasn't.
There was, no. Remember, we did it right first thing in the morning.
Oh, we did, yeah,
Doris
first thing
was
this
late
morning.
This morning, sorry, Doris.
Teach you to be late, girl. Better be on time tomorrow.
We need you guys to be here on time and
Yep.
stay till the end.
Even if you live in California, you had to be up at 6 o'clock.
Okay. This might be a silly question, but can I still be in the master's course and still keep up with my full-time IT job?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I mean, this whole thing is about working part-time and making full-time income like everybody you see is doing. Being in the master's has nothing to do with that. And, we're going to offer you some, some training along the way. You probably will have to make time for that. But now it's virtual, which makes it even easier. But, yeah, most people actually, when they enter the master's, actually have a job. At least they did before COVID. I don't know about now.
I'm already in the mentoring. Do I get my setup fee waived for VA?
If you're in mentoring, that doesn't mean you paid a setup fee. You paid the setup fee when you either went to the 297 Gold Club level or you got a VA and you're at the $59 level. So the answer is, if you paid the fee, you'll get credit for it.
I think what he's saying is he bought mentoring and now he wants to sign up for VA. Can we waive the fee for him?
Okay, well, that's right. If you bought mentoring, then your fee has already been waived.
Yeah, we've always offered that for a long time with mentoring.
Yeah, so no, you don't get double credit for it.
Okay, that's all the questions I got here.
What?
I know.
That's all you guys got? That's it? All right. Okay, well, if that's the case, then we're going to end this day. Thanks for hanging in there all this time, and we'll see you bright and early at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We got one more day, but I'm telling you, it's a powerful day. And we are going to give away $1,000 cash tomorrow. See you then.